Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Presley, and in this video today, I'm going to be reviewing all of Time Before Time, so let's jump right into it. Now, Time Before Time is a 6-volume series. I believe the series contains 29 issues, mainly written by Declan Shalvey and Rory McConville, and I really dug this series. The first thing I really want to talk about is the artwork, and the funny thing is, there are a ton of different artists that worked on this book. I'm going to list them all in a second. But one thing that is fun about it is that you kind of see these different art styles. You see the different takes and interpretations of these characters and this world, and that's really fun. It's a little bit inconsistent in terms of the artwork because it is so many different people. So if you get stuck to an artwork, a specific artist that you really like, their artwork doesn't stick around too long in the series. But yes, I'm going to be reading this off of a paper real quick. But some of the main artists that we have working on here: Joe Palmer, Eric Zawadzki, Ron Salas, Jorge Coelho, Giaffo, I hope I'm saying that right, Will Morris, and PJ Holden. A lot of different artists throughout here. Really great stuff. I'm going to be putting a bunch of panels. Hopefully you've been seeing them already on screen. But I really dug this world. I love the character design. Nadia and Tatsuo and Kevin, the three main characters of this series, all have their distinct looks to them. And even throughout the different art styles here, you can still see them very clearly. You know who they are. And that's really the sign of great character design, is when you understand and you can kind of recognize characters through different art styles. I loved it. The artwork here was fantastic. I love how lively the worlds feel. Feels very science fiction-y. I loved it. Overall, the artwork throughout, fantastic. I wouldn't change a thing about it. It's not my absolute favorite style, any of these people throughout here, but it all serves the story really well. It's really fun. It's cartoony. It's very just whimsical, and I thought it fit the story perfectly. So overall, the artwork, fantastic. Now let's talk about the story real quick. The story was really well done. I thought it was paced beautifully. So yes, this is 6 volumes throughout this entire series. However, the first 5 volumes are the complete story of Tatsuo, Nadia, and Kevin. The 6th volume is a bunch of one-shots that take place in the Time Before Time world. But yes, it basically is a book about this group called the Syndicate, who is able to time travel into the past and future. They mainly exist as a way for people who live in the present, which is really bad, to travel back to the past to live a more favorable life. The one thing that sucks about it is the Syndicate is very strong and very powerful, and people owe them debts, so they work for them their entire lives. They can never escape debt. They can never escape the reach of the Syndicate. And Tatsuo, our main guy throughout here, is this in the same boat. So he has a lifelong debt that he has to pay towards the Syndicate, and so they're always on his tail. They're always hounding him, because no matter how much money he makes, how many trips he goes to the past or the future, no matter how much work he does for the Syndicate, it's just never enough. He can never escape. He's getting sicker. His life is turning worse and worse because he is dying from radiation poisoning from all these trips. It's a really great storyline and a great character development for him and his character throughout. Great stuff. And then we have Nadia in the mix, who is this FBI agent who is trying to escape to the past to go find her family, because back when she was younger and they were splitting up, it was her mom and her sister that went to the past, and her dad were supposed to be on the next trip out, but they couldn't afford it. And again, the Syndicate was raising their prices, so Nadia and her dad cannot afford it. They had to stay in the past, or in the present, and therefore she tries to steal a pod to go back to the past. It's a really great storyline. She has an even better character arc throughout here, because she is reunited with her family in volume 4, and then she ends up leaving because she realizes that this is not the life she wants. She brings her sister with her back to the present to try to fight the Syndicate. It's a whole bunch of great stuff going on throughout here. I loved both of these characters. And then you have Kevin in here, a little robot from the very far future, who is able to travel back in time, which a lot of people think is very much a paradox, because technology doesn't survive time travel. So it's great stuff what happens throughout there. Kevin's funny. He's very much the comedic relief of the group. I love his character design. And overall, yes, the story's super fun. It's paced beautifully. The ending is super satisfying, very emotional, both with Tatsuo, Nadia, and Kevin. Overall, amazing. Now, the villain throughout here, being the Syndicate, is very powerful, very oppressive. The main guy, Helgi, who is Tatsuo's boss, he's mainly the villain for the first volume, maybe the first 2 volumes, because he does eventually, spoilers, get killed off, and his father, Marston, who is now trying to become the head of the Syndicate, is the main guy hot on their tails. And he does some pretty messed up stuff throughout here. He steals, in order to torture people, he steals their relatives from the future, brings them back, shows them this, shows them that he has the power to grab them out of time whenever, and then basically makes them talk. He's constantly sending troops after the people that we care about, and hitmen and mercenaries. It's great stuff. He's a jerk. He's also stealing power because he's not actually in control of the syndicate in his time, but he kills the head of the syndicate to become the new syndicate leader. Really great stuff throughout. You really hate him. I couldn't stand looking at him every time he was on the page because he is just a visceral, angry, manipulative character. I loved it. I thought the way they did the villains throughout here was fantastic. And the time periods, the time jumping, seeing these different characters in the different times, great as well. There's also a union in here. The union is directly against the syndicate, and they've been fighting a war throughout all these different decades. So the syndicate clashing with the union is another great aspect of this book as well. Are we on the union side? Are we on the syndicate side? Even though our main character is part of the syndicate, do we actually want the syndicate to win? No, yes, it's really up to your interpretation. I personally was on the side of the union because, yes, the syndicate, they're a bunch of assholes, and they're just a bunch of jerks, and you really want to see them lose. I love it. I thought the conflict resolution throughout here was great, and I really love seeing how it ended. Now, without spoiling how the book actually ends, I will say the character arc for Nadia and Tatsuo, really, really well done. I know I touched on this a little bit earlier, but it's great. I love what Nadia's doing here. She's taking it upon herself to take down the syndicate after what they did to Tatsuo, and Kevin is there trying to tell her, like, hey, you cannot do this alone because you will die. They are too strong. And even if you kill them in this time period, which you won't be able to, from future time periods and past time periods, they're just going to come here and they're going to destroy you. So, like, she has to understand that she can't do this alone. And then something happens with Tatsuo throughout here, maybe in a future timeline, and he ends up coming back to her. And the three of them kind of go on their little adventures together to try to stop this whole thing. They get the union involved. There's a huge clash at the very end of this book, and it really feels like a great climax for this story. It's amazing overall. I absolutely dug this entire book. So yes, Time Before Time was a really, really fun, interesting series. Time travel-y, very time hoppy, and enjoyable. I gave it a 5 stars out of 5. I was really close to giving it about a 4.75, but I have to give it a 5. It was super fun. And it was just a great ride throughout. If you've already read Time Before Time, let me know in the comments down below your thoughts, your opinions, and most importantly, your rating. Again, I gave it a 5 stars out of 5. I'm super excited to show my girlfriend this series and have her read it. If you haven't read it yet, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's only 6 volumes, 29 issues in total, so it's not too much reading. You can get this done in a couple days if you really put your mind to it. But yes, thank you so very much for watching this review. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more reviews soon, and I'll see you later.